When gamers say they don't care about reviews, I tend to laugh very loudly, because that's what I do when people tell me self-evidently false things with not a modicum of sarcasm or self-awareness. If gamers didn't care about reviews, particularly from websites like IGN or GameSpot, they wouldn't deem it necessary to downvote every review they disagree with. I don't exactly blame them. For professionals, many gaming critics are incredibly inept at their jobs. Every Call of Duty review published by IGN is evidence of that. Content so shit, I would have difficulty telling it apart from a screenplay written by James Nguyen. That said, I think a lot of gamers are like me in the sense that reviews generally don't deter us from playing games we were interested in picking up. If Deus Ex Mankind Divided received bad reviews from the traditional gaming press, I still would have bought it, because I don't care about the opinions of people who generally have the gaming acumen of a rabies-infected chimp. However, I do care about reviews or critical content from people I like and trust. If I watch a video from Total Biscuit where he thoroughly recommends a game, I'm usually more inclined to pick it up. On a more objective level, I care about people getting access to games before launch so that I can ascertain whether the game works before I choose to buy it, which is simply something that can't be assumed in the current gaming landscape. And before you console morons get on your high horses, need I remind you of Assassin's Creed Unity or Halo the Master Chief Collection? When Bethesda announced their new review copy policy last month, my bullshit detector exploded. I was immediately thinking, this seems sketchy as fuck, especially considering that two major Bethesda titles were set to launch within a few weeks of the announcement. To my non-existent surprise, Dishonored 2 releases, and it barely fucking works on PC. Who the fuck could have seen that coming? Honestly, I'm still baffled as to how botching the PC version of Dishonored 2 is even possible. The game's been in development for 4 years, and the graphics aren't exactly putting Battlefield 1 to shame, so what the hell happened? This was a huge bummer for me, because I was really looking forward to playing Dishonored 2. Unfortunately, it seems like I'm gonna have to wait a few weeks for a patch before I pick this game up, because I don't exactly feel like settling for the console version thanks to Bethesda's incompetence. But I think the fact that Dishonored 2 has launched in such a state is indicative as to why the review policy was introduced. I don't think it's a coincidence that one of the first games released under this new policy doesn't work properly. Why don't we read Bethesda's press release regarding their new review copy policy? At Bethesda, we value media reviews. We read them, we watch them, we try to learn from them when they offer critique, and we understand their value to our players. Don't mean to piss on your bonfire, but while I do like a lot of your games, even you have to admit that your track record is far from spotless. Every RPG you've made in the last 15 years has shipped with a ton of bugs, and you're notorious for not patching your games, instead relying on gamers to mod them for you. An alcoholic isn't going to convince me their AA meetings are helping if I still find them injecting bourbon directly into their bloodstream. Earlier this year, we released Doom. We sent review copies to arrive the day before launch, which led to speculation about the quality of the game. Since then, Doom has emerged as a critical and commercial hit, and is now one of the highest rated shooters of the past few years. Exception to the rule. Every single time I find out that PC review copies for a game aren't sent out until the day of launch, I know immediately that the port is gonna be botched. Doom is the only game I can think of where this wasn't the case. It is the rare exception to the rule where a game that didn't have review copies until the day before launch turned out to be a great game. Mafia 3, fucked. AC Unity, fucked. Batman Arkham Knight, fucked. When you refuse to send out review codes until launch day, this generally indicates that either you aren't confident in the quality of the game, or you know for sure that the game is broken. If you're proud of your product, you're not going to restrict people from getting the word out ahead of time. With the upcoming launches of Skyrim Special Edition and Dishonored 2, we will continue our policy of sending media review copies one day before release, while we will continue to work with media and streamers and YouTubers to support their coverage, but before and after release, we want everyone, including those in the media, to experience our game at the same time. This is barely a reason. I mean, seriously, is this the best excuse you could come up with? We want everybody to play our game at the same time. That's retarded. Logic like this preys on those who easily become jealous of people who receive early access to games. Like, I get it. I'd like to receive early access to games I want to play as well, but I'm not a professional reviewer. It isn't my job to review video games, nor am I entitled to receive a game early because I'm a fan or something. That's fucking moronic. If you become overwhelmed with jealousy because other people get to play games before you, That's quite telling of how fragile you are psychologically. As though waiting a few more days following a year of waiting is as painful as having a metal baton shoved up your ass. As though you don't have other games to play or other things you can do like watch a movie or watch a TV show. Companies love people like this, so overwhelmed with jealousy that they're willing to forego valuable information that could save them from a stupid purchase simply for the sake of being first. It's why dipshits will pitch a fucking tent and sleep on concrete for a week to be the very first person to get a new iPhone. We also understand that some of you will want to read reviews before you make your decision, and if that's the case, we encourage you to wait for your favorite reviewers to share their thoughts. This paragraph comprises of nothing but disingenuous platitudes. Bethesda knows many gamers are incredibly impatient and will pre-order games they've yet to confirm will even work simply to have the game on day one. And why are they doing this? Because they fucking can! How anybody can look at this review copy policy as anything but blatantly anti-consumer behavior baffles me. It's transparently screwed. Withholding information from the consumer is never a good thing, and the fact that they're trying to pass it off as some kind of favor to the gamer is downright insulting. It's simply useful for reviews to be available before a product releases. You still shouldn't pre-order games, but if you plan on doing that, it's always good for reviews to be available before launch to give you an opportunity to cancel your pre-order. Of course, if you're a rational individual, this press release should have prompted you to immediately cancel any pre-orders you had on Bethesda games. If upon reading this press release, you still decided to pre-order Dishonored 2, I'm sorry, but you are foolish. This should have been a sign to abort. All I can hope is that Bethesda stops stroking what they must believe to be the largest cock on the planet, and that their fans stop cupping their testicles for them. This is not good for you. This is the fucking antithesis of pro-consumer decisions. Stop giving companies a reason to pull this kind of shit. Take your heads out of your asses.